Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, man. Hunt the ball. Let's go, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films, NFL Draft Barbecue, Big Board Questions. And today, for the first time on the channel, I have the Haitian sensation. Winslow joins the program, somebody I interact with all the time on Twitter, be DMing back and forth about the draft. Man knows this draft. I wanted to get him and get his perspective on some things and on some players. So Winslow, first off, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, man. How about you? You doing good?
I'm doing good.
Happy to hear that.
So, hey, can you please let people know what your Twitter tag is, and we'll link it below.
Perfect. You can find me at Winslow Charles too, or you could type Haitian sensation. You find me. You find me in both.
So, do people call you Charles because your last name is Charles?
Yes, they call me Charles all the time. They actually thought Charles was my first name. They thought Winslow was the last name, but it's all the way around.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure we've all known some Charleses in our life, and we've all known, especially football players, Kellen Winslow and Kellen Winslow Jr. as a last name. So, yeah, you just gotta roll with those punches, man.
You got to.
So Winslow at a barbecue. Obviously, you were born in Haiti and then came here at 11 years old, right?
I came here when I was 11. Yes.
So I want to know, what you knew about the barbecue maybe as a kid, or how they barbecue in Haiti and how that transfers over to America. What do you do now? What kind of foods are we talking? What's the vibe like? What are the differences? I'm really interested in hearing this.
Yeah, the food is a big part in the barbecue. You go to Port of Haiti, food, you're going to smell it from a block away. That how strong the food is. We have grill, which is pretty much fried pork. We have tasso, which is fried goat. We have our rice is famous, and plantain, fried plantain. Food is the big part. After food is the drinks. We have BBQ, which is a 5-star rum. When I was younger, I wasn't drinking it, but I see how the corners they're drinking it. We have BBQ. We have just food and drinks and loud music. It's pretty much the same thing as over here. Just the food is a little bit different.
Okay, so some rum though, huh?
Rum.
I enjoy when I was more of a beer guy. I didn't drink any other liquor, but when I go to the casino, I order rum and cokes because I like their rum and cokes with the little lime in there and stuff like that. So yes, I do enjoy rum actually. So that's pretty cool. You get the good stuff down there though.
Yeah, we do. Right now, I turned 21 a couple years ago, but yeah, I'm started. I'm a beer guy too. Over there in Haiti, we have this beer called Prestige. That's the beer we drink over there. But I came to America. I saw. I experienced the American experience. So it's pretty nice over here.
Nice. Well, send me a case, bro. Send me a case or send me some rum. Give you my address or something. I mean, hey, you're on the show. This is when I tend to bargain with people and just try to hey man, you're on the show. Give me something. Yeah, it's my free stuff. So you might have noticed, Winslow, we've been talking to a lot of people on the barbecue, great guests, and we've covered a lot of the top guys. So I kind of asked you who you'd be targeting in the round 2, round 3 area. And there's a certain cornerback that you mentioned that I think very highly of too. And that's Marcus Jones out of Houston. People have heard me talk about him before, so I'll keep my things short. Reminds you of Tavon Young, but he's also got elite return skills. Even with returns being taken out of the game, this man is putting up numbers, return touchdowns. So why do you love him so much? And maybe talk about where he is on your board. Is he somebody that you would even look at in the second round, or do we have other needs in maybe third round? We need a slot corner. So how are you feeling about him, Winslow?
I love this cat, man. He's I'm a big fan of those heart over height guys. The guys that's put maximum effort on the field, and he's definitely that guy. I have him in the third round for sure. Around 100, 110. I want to be mad if we picked him right here. Only because he's so diverse. Every player I look at, I try to think like a Raven. I don't want to pick somebody that I know we're not gonna get. So with him, we like diverse players. We like players that can do multiple things. With his special team ability, we have a special team head coach. It just makes so much sense. He's around 5'8", so he's not that tall. That's what's being slot. But I promise you, if this cat was 5'10", he would have been a late first round pick for sure. Everything's perfect. His hips, ball skills, his physical. I like this guy, and I wish he was a little taller, because if he was, he would have been a lot better. But I guess God had to God had to stop him some way. God had to, because if he made him 6 foot, this guy is gonna be a beast.
Unstoppable. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's tall enough for a slot corner. The Ravens, of
Mhm.
course, their history of Tavon Young, not only drafting him, Winslow, but signing him. So it's not like it was a failed experiment. They gave the man a contract.
Definitely.
Obviously, and the thing that I like also about Marcus that you didn't mention is his tackling in particular. It shows up in his attitude, but he is just like Tavon when it comes to fearless. They look the same when they're tackling to me,
Yeah.
just their body, but their aggressiveness and their form tackling. So it's something that's very important, as you know, Winslow, for these slot cornerbacks to be able to, really buckle down and tackle some of the bigger backs in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I love how he don't let his size define him. He goes. He's a dog. He goes out there and just play, man. And he's fast too, man. I don't think he ran the 40, but he looked like a good low 4.3 guy in my eye. He's pretty fast. That's a guy I've noticed him. And I started my draft process really early, even doing the when the Ravens about to finish their season. That's when I start looking at guys, and that's the guy I noticed. I'm like, why isn't he a top DB in the draft? Because he's 5'8". That's why. I was wondering, like, why nobody talking about this guy. He does all the good things, his ball skills. As a Ravens fan, we want new cornerbacks with ball skills, and he got, like, I'm not sure how many interceptions he had, but he got at least 4, 5. He got a bunch of them, and I'm like, yeah, this guy is good. He's 5'8". That's the only downside I see from this guy. And if he's there, I pick 110. Why not? We need a corner anyway. We need a slot corner, especially. I feel like he'll be really good for us.
Yeah, the fit fits. Maybe that's why he is 5'8". Maybe he was meant to come to the Ravens and play slot corner. So, but yes, everything. I'm just going to back you up on everything you said. The ball skills are evident. They jump off the page to you. The man has good instincts, good eyes, which is something I'm a stickler for on defense. He sees it, and then he's got that speed too. So the returner speed. He's had punt return touchdowns, kick return touchdowns. I think he had 4 total last year. That's insane production. That's why when I bring up Dante Hall, Devin Hester, and guys like that, I'm not doing it haphazardly or just picking out 2 good returners. Like, he's got that kind of return skills. And if you remember, of course, probably you were a little younger than me, but our Super Bowl run with Jacoby Jones was a big part of that.
Yeah, I actually got to saw that. I think I didn't. I got to saw that, and I saw Ray Lewis. It was Ray Lewis' last game, and he had the black mask. I told my pops, "Hey, who's this guy? Number 52. He looked cool." That's Ray Lewis. I'm like, man, I went on YouTube and start watching this stuff. Ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm playing football when I get into high school. That's pretty much how it started for me.
So I'm jealous of that, because you can go back and see videos of, like, Ray Lewis. Like, I can't see videos of the guy that came before me because they don't exist. You know what I mean? I see clips and highlights, but it's the same stuff. You can go on and watch 20 minutes of Ray Lewis or full games of Ray Lewis in his prime. So I'm a little jealous of that, but I did get to see the franchise at the beginning. So there's some advantages to being an old man over here. Some advantages. So who else are you thinking about, Winslow? Who you been looking at? Where should we go on the board here?
Okay, so let's say we do not go edge rusher round 1, and there's this edge. I'm when I tell you I'm high on this guy, and I really am. He's one of the first tape I've watched. His last name is pretty hard to pronounce. It's Arnold Epiketti. I hope I said it right.
Yep.
Epiketti. This guy, man, he is. I've been talking about him. He is really, really good. I watched his film, and he's already a Penn State guy. I watched his film. There's not a lot I don't like about him. His run game is a little bit above average, none too crazy when it comes to run stopping, but rushing the passer, that's where he excels at. His get off is good, technique is good, he got a good bang. I think the only reason why he's not talked about being a first rounder is because he's about to be 24 when the season starts. He's pretty old, so I know a lot of teams are not a big fan of that, but besides that, man, like when they were talking about Ojabo being a first round pick, and I watch Ojabo film, I watch his film. I mean, Ojabo is not that much better than him personally, in my opinion, when it comes to rushing the passer. And I'm like, why isn't he talked about being a first round pick? And I realized because he's 23 now. When it's installed, he's gonna be 24. When he's gonna be 30 when his contract ends. So I completely understand why they'll talk to him as a first round pick. But if we don't go edge rusher in round 1, round 2, I think he's a guy I would love to get. I think he's a guy that can have a 10 sacks, man. I feel he can have 10 sacks in the. I'm not talking about when he's a rookie, but let's say 3 years down the line, I think he really can be a guy that like. How come he fell to the second round?
Mm-hmm. That was kind of. There's been players like that, and in fact, there's one in our division that plays for the Black and Gold that was a second round pick that probably should have been a first. Yeah. So, as far as what I just love a lot about him. The question is with his upside because of his age. You should be playing well. You should be dominating 19, 20-year-olds out there when you're 24. Your body changes, but I mean Winslow, I still see the upside because he has some technical things to work on, especially in the run game. And I still think he can add some weight. He is a quick player. I like the comparison to Ojabo out of this draft because they kind of move the same way. They're very quick. They can burn the edge. They play tough. I mean, Ebiketie plays tough. And he is that size that the Ravens like for outside linebackers. He's right in the 250, 260 range, the same height. But he has some room to grow in the run game. I think a lot of that has to do with positioning and just technique because he wants to. I'm seeing the theme with your first 2 players here. It's players that play hard. Ebiketie plays hard. Now, I wanted to ask you, I have him at number 28 on my board. Of course, that does not include quarterbacks, and that does not include, I'm looking at it from the Ravens, and I don't know the Ravens board, and I don't know all 32 teams board. So the Ravens right now pick at 45. So what are the chances, in your opinion, that Ebiketie slips that far and is available at 45? You give me a percentage or what kind of chance? How are you feeling about that?
It's a 45 to 30% chance. I don't think he will, but I pray that he does because that's how good I think he really is. When it comes, I'm a big pass rush fan. For the Ravens, I want a guy that can get sacks. I want a guy that can after the quarterback. I think that's what he could do. I think other team notice how good he is. Again, if he was 22, this guy is a first round pick, in my opinion. That's how good he is. I hope he does, but I've been doing a lot of mock drafts. He's rarely there at 45. If he could move up in the second round, maybe we have a chance to get him. Before I knew his age, I thought he would have been a late first round pick. I thought somebody was gone because last year there's a couple guys I thought was going to be second round picks, like the edge rusher from Houston. I forgot his name last year. I think the
Peyton Turner. I think
Peyton Turner. I thought he would be a second round pick. Some team loved him so much. He's a first round pick. I thought he would have been a guy like that. A team gonna fall in love with him and be like, yeah, this guy's better than most people. I'm to the risk, but. That's before I learn his age. He's going to be 24. I do feel he's going to be a second round pick. Maybe go in the early 40s, like at 40, 43 or late 30s. But I don't think if he's there at 45, I say get him. No question, especially if we haven't drafted the edge. He's that good. But I'm high on him. I really am. I love him. I love how he plays the game. I like that even though you can see he lacks in when it comes to run stopping. But he doesn't play soft. He doesn't play like he doesn't want to stop the run. He put effort out there, and that's what that matters in my eyes. You gotta show me that you want to improve, and that's all I see. He doesn't usually his hands like Ojabo. I'm not trying to bash him or anything. He's really good, but when you see Ojabo, when Ojabo played the run, his hands are a little soft. Like he doesn't have much power in his hands when he try to press the edge. But with Arnold, I see he tries. He put his whole body into it. Even though he's not doing an amazing job, but he does good enough that I want to be. He could play from first to third down. He's a guy that I want to be. Yeah, he could play. He could be a 3 down edge.
I
Unlike
think
some
so
people.
too. He's 6'4". I'll look it up here, just to back you up here. He's 6'3", 256, but he's got 34 and an eighth inch arms, and that shows in his play. He's able to straight arm you. He's got to work in that 38-inch vert, 10-foot broad, 10-foot 8-inch broad. He put up bench. I
Explosive.
mean, this he's an athlete, Winslow. Like, he's got a lot of athletic ability. So I'm not too concerned about him being 24, although I can understand. The other thing to think of is he may fall to 45 because there's a lot of teams that play 4-3 defense, and maybe they want a bigger body on the edge. Like, he screams prototype 3-4, either rush or Sam. So you could play him in Bowser's spot at Sam probably.
I hope so. I hope
I
so.
think he'd be good in coverage. That's always a major projection. We never know about coverage, but I think there's a good chance he can do it. And then, of course, we saw him a lot at Penn State on the rush end. So maybe pairing the two Penn State guys, Davioue and Ebiketie, that would be kind of cool. Yeah. So
double
another
trouble.
guy, another guy in that range, though, I wanted to get to is Travis Jones out of UConn. Now, he's another guy I'm holding out slim hope for that he falls to 45. You mentioned you're not getting Ebiketie in your drafts. What about Travis Jones, and what do you think about him?
We're not getting Travis Jones easy, man. I think he could sneak in the first round. I feel like if a guy like Jordan Davis goes really high and then Devontae White go right after that, the next best D tackle is Travis Jones. And if you're a team that needs a D tackle and you pick at 28, 29, 30, you get Travis Jones. He's sturdy. That boy is strong. Like, his hands are like steel, right? I see him push against a center. The center was not moving, and I was like, "Oh my god, this guy is strong." I again, that's the other guy I love, man. I sadly didn't get to watch film on him because he go to UConn. I was trying to look to watch film. I couldn't watch more, but the things I've seen, I've loved. He's quick. He's 6'4", around 320, 318. I don't know exactly what size he's at, but he's big, and he don't let that define him. He's big. He can move side to side. He got a little swim move that I like. He uses that a lot. He uses a little swim move. So I see that he like using his hands. He's really good in the run game. He's really good in the pass game. If he went to a bigger school, pretty sure he would have been a first round pick too. He used to play offensive line in high school, so he got that background in his back pocket. If he knows he's just in case. You feel me? Travis Jones, love him. Really high on him. Really high on him.
Really high on him. Winslow, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on him. We've talked about him a lot on the show already. But a big nose tackle who definitely plays there and probably plays at 3 tech. I'm not sure what his sack total will be at the NFL level. That has a lot to do with how much he gets double teams and how much he can finish and that kind of thing. I mean, he is a big guy, but he will require 2 people, or else he's just going to, like you said, walk your center straight back into the quarterback pretty much every time. So you better at least chip him or get another body on him, or he can blow up the passing play, getting those big old arms up in the quarterback's face. It's a big deal.
Definitely.
But I talked a lot about him, so I'm going to kind of skip over him and go to another guy that I'm really excited about, Leo Chanel, the linebacker out of Wisconsin. Another Winslow guy I'm noticing, a hard-hitting, hard charging
run
person.
stopping. And man, again, ever since we drafted Patrick Queen, in 2019, right?
2020, yep.
2020, 2020. Ever since we got Patrick Queen, only issue I have with him, he can't block shed really well. He's quick, he's side guy, but when offensive lineman can swallow him up, he's not really that physical when it comes to block shedding. So I've been looking for guys that could be next to him that could help him out, and that's the guy, Leo Chanel, and he's 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big linebacker, and his
6'3",
his size is he's bigger than 250. His size is like misleading when you read the size, and I'll bring it up real quick. When you read the size, you're like, man, this guy is too slow. There's nobody at that weight that's going to be able to play. But he's built like a bodybuilder. Like he carries the weight about as good as you can. I have him listed on NFL.com as 261.
they're really good in a run game. Leo have a pass rushing upside to him. I think he will fit perfectly with Patrick Queen. I think he will be that 45. Honestly, I do think that. So if we do think I do have a second round grade on him. If we do think a linebacker is a much more important need, I'm perfectly fine with getting him. You know, he's physical. I feel like you get him, we already have a good team that can stop the run. I think your team get even better at that, in my opinion. A big fan of this guy.
So there's no doubt he's going to be able to stop the run and be in the league for a long time because of that. I actually have him at 66 on my board. So 45 would be way too high for me because of, there's a possibility that Chanel could be a 2-down linebacker and could struggle in coverage because
I know
that. The speed is great for straight line speed, but I did see him, Winslow, when he's on the backside of a run and a quicker running back makes a cut, he has a hard time keeping up with that cut, and he's in grab mode. And a lot of times he does make plays, but that kind of stuff gets harder and harder at the NFL level. So I have a second round grade on him as well. I mean, I love the guy. I have him right behind Christian Harris as far as the linebackers I like. Christian Harris is a stud. Then Leo Chanel would come into that. But I'm looking for him in the third round, even the first pick of the third round, 76 or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand. I definitely understand. That is his weakness. I was gonna go there. His weakness is that he's not that good when it comes to coverage. And it comes with being almost in 260, so 61, as you said. It comes with that territory. Like I didn't expect him, but he's such a playmaker. You watch him, you just can't help but like him. He's so physical, such a playmaker. And he do. I think he had like 6 sacks at that position. And I like it. I just like how he played. I don't mind. I have a second round game. It don't matter where you get him in the second round. I do see a lot of people have him really high. That's the reason why I really say 45. But 55, 70, 60, it don't really matter as long as we get him somehow. You feel me?
Yeah. And think about how creative the Ravens have been historically with trading back and moving around the board. So maybe in the second round at 45, let's say we need an edge rusher. Okay, we still need an edge rusher at 45, but we got guys like, I don't know, Fidelio Mathis, Cam Thomas, J. Sanders, Nick Benito, like say Ignagbare. There's 5. There's like 5 of them still there. Maybe we say, all right, we'll trade back and we'll still get one of those 5, and with our extra pick, we'll pick up Chanel a little earlier in that range. Exactly. So it's totally possible. Like some of these guys, I think some of the viewers think, well, there's no chance he's going to go in a spot where we're not picking, but the Ravens manipulate the board as well as anybody. I could see a trade back in this draft. I could see a trade up in this draft. In fact, if I had to put money down, I'd say in this draft, we both trade up at some point and we trade back at some point.
Yeah.
Because we got so many
picks. We have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. When it comes into picks, I can see that. Personally, I think we're gonna trade down. Like, defensively, this draft is loaded, and I feel like at 14, the guys we really want is not gonna be there. I think JJ not gonna be there. I came around with JJ. I'm fine with him at 14 now. I remember I told you.
Winslow's talking about. Hold on, let me set it up right. Winslow's talking about Jermaine Johnson. It's taking him a while to come around to Jermaine Johnson at 14, but you're there. Is that what you're telling me now?
I'm there. It's fine. I see why. I get it. I always seen why, but my only issue was that he's bend. But what's his name? A lot of good air rushers did not have that amazing bend around the tackle, because it was just a power rusher. He still did good in the NFL. So I realized I'm just being too picky. He's really good. You can't deny that when you watch tape. So I'm fine with him at 14.
You should be picky. You need to be picky. This is the time of year where your downfall can either be being too optimistic or too negative. So balance your positive and negative when you're evaluating prospects. I find is always good. Try to see the good in them. Try to see the bad in them. Try to see both, no matter what you think of them. Try to see what you think they can do and what they might struggle with, and then let your heart and add up the picture and let your head and heart take over. So Winslow, we're doing really good. I have to say, for the first time on the show, you are handling yourself quicker than these so-called analysts, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Man, so there's one other guy that we have not talked about, a tackle. And I'm really glad to have this discussion with you. He's from Arizona State. His last name is Deesh. I believe his first name is Kellen. I should have wrote that down.
Yeah. It's
Kellen Deesh. Kellen Deesh from Arizona State. So big guy, 6'7", but his
weight is like 299, right?
Yeah, his weight. It's just to set you up here. It's his weight. So he's light in the pants. He gets bull rushed. He's short armed and he doesn't play really well with his arms. So he did make my board though because of his physical skills. I'm going to put my board up on the screen now, and you can see him at number 127 in that gray area. It's right below the day 3 value. Day 3 values in the blue. So when it comes to day 4, day 3, fourth round, fifth round, this is a guy that would be on my radar if we somehow missed on tackle. I think the reason I have him too low on my board to some is that I expect the Ravens to address tackle in the first 3 rounds. I just don't think they're messing around with there, both, with Ronnie and then also Morgan Moses, both being veteran players. You want to have that third tackle. It's been missing for a while. So tell us what you know on the Arizona State tackle, Kellen Deesh.
Yeah, like you said, he's a tall boy, but he's a little light in the pants, short arms. His hand placement is not that great, but he's physical. Again, I like guys that have effort, and that's why he's physical, and he's not, offensive side is hard to have stats, but if you look at PFF, other stuff, it's not bad. He doesn't give that much pressures, but I want to talk about him as a guy that can sit behind somebody and just a swing tackle. Again, I'm not too worried about the tackle position right now. I'm really not. I'm like Stanley being out for 2 years. If he's still not good, I don't know how I'm going to feel yet, because he should be. Like, he's 2 years. You've been walking. He sounds pretty confident when he talks. I think by week 3, he should be ready to go. But just in case he's not, I feel like we could have him. I do expect us to get one earlier, but just in case we don't, you never know. Because last year I thought we were gonna get a tackle, and we didn't really do that. So I wanted to look at a guy in the 4th round. And I think that's a guy that had a pretty good upside. If he comes in camp at 300 and actually 315, I think he's 299 right now, almost 300. If he comes in 315. I think I'll be fine. He's not that he could learn. His tape is not as bad as people say is. Honestly, I don't hate him as much. Again, that's a 4th round guy in my opinion. He'd be there. If he's still there, I think it's a good value. So that's one reason I had to pick a tackle. I didn't want to pick those guys that we talked about. Like, I had to pick somebody different. So that's why I picked him. We talked about a lot of guys. So I was like, let me just pick a guy nobody probably heard of him. Let's just pick him just in case, we get him. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for the conversation. Thanks for doing some homework on him, because I want to mention what I think he'll do well at the NFL level, and that's move in space as a run blocker. He, because of his lack of power, maybe the Ravens scheme doesn't scream out to people that he would fit. But Winslow, he is a left tackle. It's not like we're asking him to play guard or some position where he really has to move people all the time. He can reach you. He can go over a gap, make a big block there. He's very, very good in the run game when it comes to his movement skills. So, again, people might not see him as a fit, but the fact is, Winslow, if he can play left tackle or right tackle and protect your quarterback and give you some movement in the run game as far as his agility is concerned, that's a player who will definitely be drafted. And I expect him to go kind of early on day 3, either 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, in our first Ronnie Stanley, he wasn't supposed to fit our scheme either. If I'm correct, he was supposed to be a guy that he's not much of a power guy, and turns out he's good. A guy that Ravens won is Tyler Linderbaum. He's a guy that's not supposed to fit our scheme either. So I don't really care about fitting the scheme. Is if you can do the job we draft you to do. That's all that really matters. If you're edge rusher, I don't care if you're like 230, 240, can you rush the passer? That's all that matters. You're a linebacker, can you tackle? You're a cornerback, can you cover? It don't matter if you're a man zone. It don't matter. If I drive to do this, can you do it? If you can, then it don't. I don't want to this year. I don't want to. What's the word? Over analyze certain guys. Sometimes it's better to look at it simple. Can you do the job I want you to do? That's what's going on with Kayvon right now. People are thinking too much. He's simple. Yeah. He's one of the best players in the draft, top 3 guy for sure. No way he should fall out of the top 10. But people are thinking too much about it, and he might fall out of the top 10. So I'm trying not to do that this year. I'm trying to. Can you do the job? You can. Then just come on.
Well, something I would say to people who are really strict on scheme fit is that I can understand where they're coming from when it's guards or even right tackles who have to execute blocks in the run game at a high level. Not saying the left tackle doesn't, but the left tackle's main job, number one job, is to protect the quarterback in pass protection. You need that. You're going to face the best edge rushers in the league over there. So and that has nothing to do with scheme. You can either get in a pass set and protect the quarterback, or you can't. The scheme dependent stuff is more in the run game. But for a left tackle, I don't worry about that really. It's just like, can he protect the blind side of my quarterback? Number one. And if he can, guess what, Winslow? There's a job in the league for you. If you can pass protect.
Yeah, just don't think too much about it, because if you do, you miss on great players. And last year I kind of did that, and I missed on some players I didn't think was gonna be that good. And I'm trying to learn from my mistakes.
You have to, and you know what? Yeah. I'm glad that you take it well, because you're going to be wrong every year you do this, and you're going to be right. And the human nature is usually you remember the bad stuff more than the good stuff. You always remember that thing you shouldn't have said, or that thing you didn't do, no matter how much other good you did in that day. So you're always kicking yourself. So, you have to balance the short memory with also learning and moving on and understanding the game. So, man, you're ahead of the curve, and that's part of the reason I wanted to bring you on, let people hear your thoughts and stuff. So, Winslow, at this time, man, I'm just going to ask you for any kind of final thoughts that you have about this draft. What are you thinking about? It doesn't have to be player related, maybe more big picture stuff, or how the Ravens should approach this draft. Whatever's on your mind, I see you expressing your thoughts all the time. So, what have you been thinking about lately as the draft comes closer and closer?
One thing I hope BDC's thing is don't be scared to be bold. In the first round, don't be scared to take a chance on a guy you think is gonna help your quarterback or your defense. It don't matter if you already have a guy like that. Like, I know a lot of people are not too turned on by a receiver in the first round, but man, if there's one here that really can help Lamar, why not? Just get him. The whole point, we're trying to get the team better. I'm right now, I'm all in best player available in the first round. Absolutely. I know we might need defense, we might need corner, we might need D tackle, but if a guy is there, that's a game changer. That's gonna make Lamar's job 10 times easier. I don't care if we need a D tackle in the first round. Get the guys gonna make Lamar life a lot easier. If there's a guy in the second round that's gonna make Lamar life easier, I don't care if we didn't get an offensive tackle yet. Get a guy get somebody that'll help your Superman on your team.
So you mentioned you mentioned wide receiver though, so I'm gonna ask you more specific on this. Who's your top receiver then? Who would you consider at 14?
Consider at 14?
Yeah, who's the guy? Like, who's the guy that maybe you couldn't pass up? Like, if you had to pick one of those receivers.
If I have to be honest with you, the best receiver right now is Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. Except I wouldn't want him only because, again, I'm looking at tall guys right now. I'm really into, you got to be a certain height. I like my receiver core to be like a basketball team, all shape and size. You feel me? I don't want a guy. I want a bunch of 6 foot guys. I don't want a bunch of 6'4" guys. I want a guy that's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", or 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2".
All right, so you contradicted yourself. First, you said Garrett Wilson, but on my board, I got Drake London number 1 because I want that power forward. So who is it? Who is it?
Who's my like? Treylon Burks, man, that's my guy.
Burks, okay.
Burks, man, the man. He's a guy that You know, you put the ball in his hand and we'll just watch him work. You know, he's right when he might not be as good as he wanted to be, but if you have a good coach in your team, you can fix that with ease. You know, it don't matter if everything else is elite. That's all I care about. Good hands, physical, you know, and the yak ability is insane with Chandler Burke.
Yeah.
My receiver too though is your guy, Drake London. I don't care if people say he's slow, but guess what? He's 6'5", and he can catch anything you throw to him. I don't care. I don't care that he might not be as fast as other receivers, but you know, I watch him play and he catches everything. I think he got the best in this draft, honestly. I seen him make some for a guy that's this tall. I've seen him make catches low in the ground, up there. You know, he remind me of the Bucks receiver,
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, man, just throw the ball. You see, and not only he's tall, he's athletic. You know, he might not be fast, but you was on a basketball team. The man can dunk, like he can make all types of dunks. So you could tell that you throw the ball high, he's gonna go up and get it. You know, and he's my receiver too. I really like him, honestly. If he's down 14, the Ravens think, yo, that's the guy, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm perfectly fine. Ravens, you know, if EDC think, yeah, that's the guy that's gonna help Lamar, do that. But my receiver one though, I like Burks because he killed two birds with one stone. You got a tall guy and a guy that can run the ball.
See, now Winslow, I'm a little disappointed. Because I asked you for one guy, and then you say Wilson, and then you're going to bat for Burks, you're going to bat for London. So
I like everybody.
I hope you appreciate how hard it is to put these guys in order, man. Because
it really is.
I go through the same. I go through the same thing, and you know, I'm finishing up my barbecue this week. This Thursday will probably be my last show, and from Thursday until the draft starts the next Thursday, where I'll be on with film study Ken McCusick, I'm just going to be looking at that board and being like, man, I got to move this guy up a couple spots.
Exactly.
And I'm going to have to work against like what you were talking about earlier, which is overthinking. And just at some point, I got to be like, Jason, that's it.
You put back it right here, you're good.
Back it up, man. Just drop the mic, bro. Just scoot the camera back and call it what it is.
I wish you could like put players in this like as a tie, the same position, because they're so good. You're like, man, I like them both, you know. But you know, it can't be like that because it won't be a bore. Somebody got to be number one, somebody got to be number 10 or number whatever. So just now don't overthink it. If your gut say that's the guy, just put it, close your eyes and move on. Because if you look at it too much and be like, you know what, maybe the other guy's better, you know.
Yeah, dude, believe me, I'm an overthinker. So it's all fun and games, and it's real interesting at the beginning, and like right now where I'm adding names to the list slowly and all that stuff, really exciting. But like a couple of days for the draft, I'm looking at my list. I'm like, man, I'm hoping this is a good list, you know. So
it's a good list. I listen. I'll give a list to everybody. I absolutely. You're one of the first people that understood why I wasn't so hot about Trevor Penning the first. Like everybody was like, "Go Trevor." I'm like, I don't know, man. Something don't seem right.
You noticed. I noticed it right away, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, something don't seem right, man. I can't, you know. You go watch film, his technique not that good. He get a bull rush for a guy that's 6'7". You know, the whole slimy point. I'm not much of. You're not gonna get away with that for elite edge rusher. You do that against the one of the guy TJ Watt, he's gonna kill you. You do that against we seen what's his name, the Browns edge rusher.
Yeah, Myles Garrett said something, didn't he?
Yeah, you see what Myles Garrett do when somebody angers him. I don't know. I wasn't that much of a fan of that.
Hey, look,
I the Steelers.
I care about that stuff, but what I saw in the first highlight clips of him slamming people was his feet just looked a little sluggish to me. So I'm going to trust that. I think that Penning could be a very good tackle.
He could be good in a couple years.
Winslow, look, man, the last like 3 shows I've been going on an anti-Penning rant. So I'm going to close the show with this. I do think at 6'7", with his temperament, if he gets some things cleaned up and gets his head together, he could be one of the better tackles in the game. Maybe not all pro or Pro Bowl, but man, there is a place to work for a guy with Trevor Penning's size and skills that he already has. So There you go, fellas. I've finally said something nice about penning on the program.
But you're right, Jason. You're right. He's like a Madden creator. He's trying to make the perfect tackle size, 6'7", 320. That's perfect. He got the speed. He got the ability. Just stuff he got to clean up. The only reason I'm against getting him at 14, but if we trade down, I wouldn't be too upset if we think we can get him to where he needs to be. You know. So yeah, that's the only reason why I wasn't on him at 14. But if you want to pick him on, like, let's say 25, 24, 27, yeah, go ahead, man. You know, I'm cool with that.
So more words of wisdom from Winslow. A lot of W's in that sentence, but I finished it off. I hope you're proud of me. But Winslow, thank you so much for joining us. Glad to have you on the program. Hopefully this summertime during the downtime, I'll be relying on you, be giving you the nudge, be like, bro, why don't you come back on the program, talk about something? So
hey, anytime,
I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
So with that, I'm gonna go ahead, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say when the draft over, I can't wait till you give your opinion on each player, man. I can't wait till you give your opinion on each guy.
Yeah, I wish I could put more college film up there or any, but I can't. If I do it and get my channel banned, I'm not willing to do that. So
yeah,
there are other channels that do it, and for some reason they enforce here, don't enforce there. I'm not taking any chances, but I'll sure run my mouth.
Just talk. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, because I'll listen. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, Winslow, I'm gonna say goodbye to my football family. Thank you to my football family. Love you guys. Appreciate everybody's support. And Winslow, time to say goodbye to the people now.
All right, goodbye. I appreciate y'all to come and listen, man. I love this. Love talking about some football. This is my favorite year. Favorite month in the year, man. It's draft season. I'm excited. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks, man.